What is going on, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of The Rose Show. As always, I'm your host, Jay. Who else but me? And today, my guest is Cleveland, Ohio's own Jeremiah Child. Very excited to speak with this individual and get to know their story as somebody who is brand new to them, as in me. I'm brand new to Jeremiah Child. And man, I got to be honest, and again, don't say this very often unless I mean it. I've added a bunch of his tracks to my daily rotation, and I think you will too as soon as you hear this interview. And definitely give his new album a chance. But we'll get into all that here in a little bit. But before we do that, I just want to let everybody know, as of this recording, which would be Wednesday morning as this drops, tomorrow, Thursday, we are going to be doing a brand new Live and Wired double feature week. That is what we are doing this week. And tomorrow's live stream, we're going to be talking all things WrestleMania 41, the card, predictions, all that. So be sure to join me and check it out live on Facebook or YouTube. And if it's Thursday, it's tonight. So the Thursday before WrestleMania. That's what this weekend's all about, right? Oh man, I cannot wait. But we'll get into all that tomorrow. We won't get into that now. Today is all about Jeremiah Child. So enough of my babbling. Let's hear a word from my sponsor and to get into my interview with Mr. Child. That's kind of weird to say it that way. Mr. Child. Mr. Child. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's do it, y'all. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Jay, and I'm here for W Energy, my sponsors. Now, what is W Energy, you might ask? W Energy is clean, jitterless energy. Better than the canned stuff that you would get at your convenience stores, your gas stations, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't have all that trash in it. Now, how do I know? Because I myself use W Energy. So what I've got here, a couple of limited edition flavors. For instance, W Energy puts out this stuff called Grandpa's Ginger Water. I know it don't sound that great, but it is amazing. Limited run that they came out that I've got actually multiple tubs of. I believe in W Energy. I use W Energy myself. Also, this was just released and it's another limited edition flavor that they come out with, and it's called Pom Blom. It's pomegranate blossom. Real nice, clean flavor. And a lot of W Energy, whether it be classics like Calio Cream or the Dub Sludge, whatever it might be, it is clean energy. It's not going to make you feel all crappy at the end of the day after using it. Now, here's what I want you to do, because again, they're obviously a sponsor of mine, but what I want you to do is I want you to go to www.w.gg, order one of the sampler packs, which you get one of these cool tumblers, a part of the sampler pack, and I want you to grab one, but don't use my promo code. That's right. Don't use my promo code Who Else at checkout, because I want you to try it without thinking I'm just trying to sell you a bill of goods. Try it one time, and then when you go back to buy your second order of W Energy, then use my promo code Who Else at checkout for a 10% discount, because all you're going to do is try it. I know you're going to love it. That's how much I believe in this product, and I thank them for sponsoring the show today. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of The Rose Show. As always, I am your host, Jay. Who else but me? And today we have got a couple of Ohioans here, some wet and rainy Ohioans from the last week that we've dealt with. Look, this is going to be far gone by the time this is released, by at least a couple of weeks. But let me tell you, I'm so fucking sick of rain right now. I'm just glad to have this distraction to talk to this guy so I can get my mind off the fucking rain and flooding in this area. But I digress. My guest today, I'm talking with him. As I said, he is an Ohioan as well, straight out of Cleveland. He's got a brand new project out, which we'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit later. But I love doing episodes like these because I get to know brand new artists that I wasn't hip to before. And I hope to spread some of that knowledge as well to the rest of you guys, because I've checked out his material. And let me tell you, I was pleasantly surprised in what I found. But we'll get into that a little bit later. It is Jeremiah Child. My friend, how are you doing today, brother?
I'm great, man. I'm so glad that you have me on the show today. Ready to talk to everybody, talk to the fans, the guests, meet some new people, get acquainted with you. Let's go.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and start at the beginning, my man. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and how you got interested in doing some of the different ventures that you do?
Well, okay, I'm Jeremiah Child, straight out of Cleveland, Ohio. I've been performing and coordinating events for about 10 years now, hosting shows with my team, the Throwback Tribe Agency, LLC. Uh, we've been in the game. It's been about 10 years. And this is actually my first album I'm putting out this year. We've done a lot of shows around the Cleveland area. We traveled to a few different states. done shows out in New York, Atlanta. It's been a nice little ride these past 10 years. And now this is my first album, so Safe Word is the name of the album, and I'm trying to take it further. It's a new venture for me. Trying to get ready for the next 10.
Nice, nice, nice. So what were some of your early influences that made you want to be in music? Because I mean, granted, Cleveland is a city where a lot of music comes out of. Obviously, when you think of Cleveland, you think of Bone Thugs and Harmony. I mean, the list of legendary musicians that have came out of Cleveland is just endless. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's there. You know, it's just so many. Cleveland is really enthralled in music in general. Is that the reason why you think you were interested in music, or was there different things that led you to want to do that?
Actually, okay, like I'm a '90s MTV baby, so I always was impressed with the rock and roll guys on TV, of Motley Crue, Vince Neil. I like the artists just jumping around on stage. They have freedom to do what they want, wear what they wanted to, and that was always a big thing. I think that was something that impressed me the most, and I knew it was a wrap from there. I needed a piece of that. I wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, yeah. Who are some of the other you said Motley Crue, were you mainly into because okay, for me, rap is kind of, my wheelhouse, but at the same time, I
Mhm.
was more influenced by rock bands, and it sounds like you kind of were as well. Was Motley Crue and stuff like that? Was that kind of the style you kind of lean towards when you were younger, listening to stuff like that, or was that just the pure inspiration? Was that style?
Because I would say most of the people in my family had a variety of different music from my aunts
Mm,
and uncles and my parents. We all had different types of music, and they also like the stuff I seen on TV helped. So it would be like
mhm.
hip hop, R&B, rock on MTV. For the most part, early inspirations, I would say Ozzy Osbourne, Ice T. It's so many different artists I could name.
And I understand exactly what you're saying too, because like when I saw again, I was same way, child of the 90s, the actual MTV era where there was actual music on MTV.
Mhm.
Total Request Live was my shit, and I remember I would say probably late 90s, early 2000s, watching some of these music videos and live performances from a band that everybody knows. I don't know why I'm saying from a band, as if you're not going to know who they are. Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit was one of my biggest influences. And the way that Fred Durst would go up there and control a crowd and just, he's all over the place, walking all over. He's not just standing there with a microphone. He's from one side to the other, head banging. The whole band is just the vibe of the band rocking together, which eventually inspired me to start looking to be in a band, which I eventually did. So I
Nice.
totally understand that. It's the showmanship, I think, is what I think drew me to want to do music. And it sounds like it's the same for you. Putting on the show is what means the most. Rocking a crowd, man. And that's something you can't really explain to people that haven't done it before. Controlling a crowd is really man, it's a buzz in itself, right? So you're actually, other than just music, you're into all kinds of different stuff. Why don't you go ahead and tell us some of the other adventures that you do as well?
Well, I like to be in front of the camera. I love to write music, of course, but I like to be in front of the camera. I like to take photos. Fashion is fun. Little sexy shoots. Got to spice it up a little bit. Um, Movies and acting will come down the line later, but mainly the photography and
Yeah.
writing. I would also like to get into some script writing, but those are like
Nice,
some
nice.
some those are some of my biggest things though, like just doing the photos and music for the moment.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about the photos. Do you mean as far as like taking pictures or being in front of the lens, or is it modeling, or what's the goal there?
Modeling for local clothing lines mainly.
Oh, okay. Have you done stuff like that before then?
Yeah, it's been a little while though. I can't find certain people anymore, but yeah, I have done like a few shoots, casual long sleeve, fall shoots, summer wear.
Yeah, yeah. Is there any did you find that you kind of took to that naturally when you were doing that, or was it kind of like, because for me, like, I couldn't see myself doing any kind of modeling stuff like that. A, I don't know who would want to see me in that kind of stuff, but B, I don't think I could take it seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would always fight the urge to probably smile a little bit, I guess. Did you
Mhm.
do you find that that comes natural to you, or is there challenges when it comes to stuff like that?
You have your bad days, but I usually just try to look forward to it. I'm more ready for it. I think I just wake up kind of ready for it. It's a certain feeling, like how you said before. You just got to hop into it, kind of be ready for it. Don't be nervous. Just go straight for it. That's usually what I do, and
Yeah.
a lot of the times it actually works. So I'm never too nervous or anything like that.
Yeah, and I'm sure that kind of helps with your stage ability too to get up there and rock a crowd as well. So,
Mhm.
what are some different you said you've been a couple different states, done a couple different shows. When you think about your time doing this, and you said this is your first album that you put out in the last 10 years, is there any real highlights that you've had to speak of so far? Like, have you done shows with a certain people? I know there's a lot of opportunities in Cleveland to do shows, particularly the spot we used to play at was called the Agora Theater, famous spot in Ohio. Is there any shows that stick out in your mind in general that you've done that mean the most to you so far?
Let's see. The Grog Shop was pretty fun. I did the Odeon once. We actually did the Agora. We opened for Waka Flocka. I think that was like 2014, just about. So yeah, the Agora, that was probably one of the biggest crowds that I ever had, and it was a really big crowd. I wish I still had photos and footage from that show, but I don't. It was a
Yeah.
great experience. It happened so fast, you don't even notice. Once the music stops, it's over.
Yeah, yeah. I think I remember that show too because we were still rocking, I think, with the Agora at that point in time. I don't think we had
Mhm.
fully moved on to Dayton yet, but yeah, that's a really good spot. It's a legendary venue. I forget what it used to be called before it was the Agora, but the promoters there always put on good events there as well. My last time being there actually was 20, it would have been 2016. We were on tour with my band Minister Sobriety. We had came through there on the Spooktacular Horror Show tour, which was Twisted. I don't know if you ever heard of them. It was their tour that we were on at that point in time.
Oh yeah.
And man, just being like a part of the tour package was just fucking awesome. And like, because it's one thing, and here's something I think a lot of people don't realize. Like, when you're a local opener or whatever, it takes so much work to get shine and because places like the Agora is so big, you've got like 30 to 40 openers at once. So like to be able to circumvent that was really fucking awesome, dude. Just to not have to deal with the whole ticket sale rigmarole because that's a pain in the ass. And I'm sure you know exactly what I mean, right?
Oh yeah. Gotta pull everybody out to a show. Can you make it? I got tickets for sale. And this is before like we was buying stuff. Like it was more of a hand to hand transaction then too. It wasn't like everything online now with Cash App. We had to stand at the door, try to sell tickets, pass out tickets. Hey, want to meet up for tickets? It
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. I would tell everybody one of those situations where if somebody needed one ticket 20 miles away, you better go sell that one ticket because they might not need it again. And then you're screwed at that point. Yeah, I totally understand that, man. The hustle is real. The hustle is real.
oh yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your new album. Well, at the very let's go ahead and start at the fact you said you've been doing this for 10 years. Before we get to the creation of your new album, why do you think
Mhm.
it took you so long was it a process of creativity or what was it? Why wait 10 years to put out an album?
The process of creativity, and also I was always more of an on stage performer, freestyler, live. I did so many things live that I actually did more live shows than I've been in the studio. So that was the thing about me. I always hosted shows more than I actually put out music, which is the truth. Um, I'm like, man, it's finally time. I'm tired of waiting, and I want to take like the next 5 years to put out more projects and more projects. But I always just been a on stage type of guy and with the crowd. So it's always been more stage product.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Well, you wouldn't tell from listening to it because I always do research on everybody, even if I know them. I do research, but I try to, even if I don't know them, I try to do at least some. And I went through and I listened to the record, and the studio production in it was the first thing that popped in my head. As soon as I started listening to the song Dark Magic, the first thing I thought was, man, this studio quality is excellent. And it is, because especially for it being I didn't know it was basically your first record. The studio production in itself is very well done. And the song itself, Dark Magic, And look, I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to insult anybody. I have very low expectations when I go into somebody hitting me up for an interview because I get a lot of requests. So I normally go into it where it's kind of like, let's see what this is about. Bro, I've saved like 4 of the songs so far off of this record to my regular playlist. This is a really good project. Talk a little bit about the project. Let us know. You said the name of it, Safe Word. Talk a little bit about the inspirations that you put into this because some of these songs, they're not just stuff that's been thrown together. Like some of this stuff has got some meaning behind it. Talk about the project and let us know some of your thoughts behind creating it.
Yes, safe word is mainly like the main things are is safe, sexy, fun, and energetic, energy all over the place. I like to switch topics. This is basically a song for everything on the album. For love, for sex, got a strip club joint, got a cheating song, got a dark side to things. I like to open up people's mind basically, so you don't just have to stick with one topic. Or I wanted to switch up the topics and didn't want to make it a typical rap album. It's all
Mhm.
alternative, so I wanted to switch it up, add some new sounds, play with different subject matters. You know,
Yeah, yeah. What are some song what are some songs that you would recommend people check out? Which by the way, you can find this album on Spotify at least, that I know of, because that's the only thing I use is Spotify. What are some songs you think people should check out that are brand new to your product that would really define who what you're trying to aim with this record?
I would say Room 13, 100 Fantasies, Dark Magic, Wrong Love, uh, uh, Bar Crawl for sure. That's like pop and hip hop mixed. So I'm
Yeah.
always switching into different genres as well. Also,
Yeah. Bar Crawl's, I think, the one I added this morning. That was a very
yeah.
good track. Very good track. It's an excellent album, man. It really is. And you can go back and check my entire catalog if you want. I don't say that to just anybody. All right, we got to take a break in the action and let you know about my brand new Patreon account. It is www.patreon.com/The Row Show Pod. Now, what I want you to do is go there and join absolutely free. You're going to get show announcements before anyone else. You're going to get bonus episodes not posted anywhere else except this account. You're going to get info on upcoming events and dates that I'm not posting anywhere. And it is all, again, absolutely free. So what are you waiting on? Go join now, support the show, and don't forget, no matter where you're watching this on, to like and subscribe because that also helps me as well. I really enjoyed the product, man. And you mentioned something about the agency you work with. Let's go ahead and talk about them and some of your team because that's actually who I talked to first was your team before we sat down to have this discussion. Go ahead and talk about that process of putting together that team and some of the stuff you guys have done over the years.
Throwback Tribe at HOC, based out of Cleveland, Ohio. We've been working for about maybe about 10 or more years now. Also, we shout out local artists from the areas from all genres, rock, pop, hip hop, country, acoustic. It doesn't matter. We uh we like to find nice talent from the city to listen, try to give them a bigger audience. Um, find shows locally and outside the city in the Midwest area. Also, we've been putting on for about me and my teammates, John and Kelly. We've been a team this whole time, event coordinating, finding where we could perform as places like out different venues, different avenues and whatnot. We always try to find the best look for our artists. Like we always take time to listen to the music also before we choose, which artist. We don't like to just go walk in blind. You always want to have a good product for the people. So that's one thing we really take pride in.
Yeah. How did you meet those guys that you started this with?
I met Johnny back in college, and he was already taking photos. He's a photographer also, so I know he was working with the Ohio Hip Hop Award around that time, and he wanted me to get into it. And I'm thinking like, because he already know I did music a little bit, and I always used to freestyle and stuff, but I never did any major stage. I never had any performances or anything I did like that. So he got me hip. We found a studio or two, and the rest was magic basically. I started to learn how the process of the studio goes and lay down tracks, how to take photos for album and promotion or just music in general. So from there, it was good. We found more members to our team around that time. More artists that were down for the ride, trying to make like little mixtapes we would put online around that time. Some of them did very well. That was basically how we started.
I like how you worded that. Some of them did very well. That's, the struggle is real, bro. I get it.
Oh
I
yeah.
get it. So it sounds like you guys are a dedicated group then, and correct me if I'm wrong, of basically trying to build something from the ground up because and that takes a lot of guts, especially in the Cleveland area. Like I said, well, I wouldn't say even the Cleveland area. Ohio was filled with dreamers, people that want to do something. And it takes a lot of guts to really stand there and say, hey, we're gonna do this on our own. Have you found any challenges to building that kind of a product? Because as somebody myself, a little bit of background about myself, actually I got screwed over by one of we're talking about it now.
Oh,
I got screwed over by one of the promoters at Agora. And that actually convinced me I'm gonna do this myself. Like I don't need anybody to do this for me. And it actually was the best choice I ever made. And a lot of people are afraid to do stuff like that. But hey, it's a long, bumpy road. Have you guys found any challenges that you didn't foresee coming when you decided to start finding this venture?
oh yeah. You're always going to have in this game. You're always going to have promoters or people you don't necessarily agree with. So this is why we try to take it apart ourselves to find the best for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because yeah, you want to avoid many problems as possible, even though it's part of the game. It's bound to happen. But we try to stay away from that type of crowd and negativity for the most part. But in the recent times, we haven't had any problems. It's been pretty cool, I would say.
Yeah. So you said that he was already into photography. Obviously, you
Mhm.
guys do your own design work and all that kind of stuff. Is that something that you had to teach yourself, or did you go to school to learn some of that stuff yourself, or was it just primarily your partner was the one putting all that together?
Primarily, my partner putting everything together as far as making show flyers and the photos. He already had it down. I learned a little bit later down the line, but he was the main guy for photos and photography. I just kind of stuck to the music, basically. Stuck to the music, learned how to write better, learn my cadence on certain things I say, different styles, and how to go about actually the process of making music. That never gets
Yeah.
old, I guess. It's always something
Yeah,
new to learn.
until you have writer's block, that is.
Oh
That is
yeah,
yeah, that's a tough one for sure. Do you
definitely.
find do you find that you have writer's block more than not? Because there's times where that was always something that was difficult for me. Like I know I want to get out, but I can't find the words to say it. And it sounds like you're like me, where you're more of a showman than the person that actually, puts it together. That was always a challenge for me. Luckily, I had a band to back me up eventually, and they took care of a lot of that stuff. For me, it was always I'll just put me on stage. I could talk to 3,000 people, but as soon as we get behind that studio booth, it's like that was a big challenge for me. And it sounds like that might be the same for you as well. Am I right?
Here and there, yes, but that's why it took me so long to put out a perfect project. I want to
Yeah.
make sure I'm saying the right things. Not every word goes for every song. You don't want to make a repeat of something you already recorded. And yeah, like how you said, like writer's block. Yeah, death in the family can make you have writer's block. Depression, laying in a bed too long, writer's block for sure. I know that firsthand. You just gotta break those habits. You gotta find a way to break them, and that's what I did. And I'm not looking back.
Yeah. That's a very good point you just laid out there. Trying to even when it comes to this project I'm doing now with this podcast, which is primarily the only thing I do these days, life gets in the way. And sometimes people are like, well, use that as an art. You don't understand, like you said, a death in the family. I don't want to use that as art right now. Like I
Mhm.
don't, there's challenges going on right now with and these are all hypotheticals, obviously, but there's challenges going on in my personal life. I don't want to use that as inspiration right now, but you got to push through. That's what separates the people that do it and the people that want to do it. And I wholeheartedly believe that the people that actually do it and find an avenue to make things happen are the ones that can push through stuff like that. But man, is it hard. And there's just certain things that You got to teach yourself, like, how bad do you want it? Do I want to sit here, like you said, and lay in bed all day? Or do I want to edit this episode because somebody's out there waiting on it? And I'm lucky enough, I've kind of built up a following on this platform to where I know that there's people waiting every Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock, waiting for this to drop so they can go through their day. I get yelled at from friends of mine when it's not put out. So it's like, man, it's, do I sit in my feels and be
Mm.
depressed, or do I create, do I put something out that people are looking for? That's the thing I think people don't understand is you sacrifice yourself for others enjoyment. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, you definitely right about that. You definitely right
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
I kind of noticed that in the. I was looking at some old Michael Jackson footage when he took a break in the '80s. That's when the rumors started to spread because he wasn't around for a little period of time. A person has toured so much and gave everything to everybody else, didn't have any time for himself basically. So everybody was wondering where you been, you know. And that I think that kind of it happens with a lot of artists. We don't see them for a while, or hey, maybe the artists need time for themselves or their family.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a story that I've heard of when Prince was alive. If you worked for Prince, you weren't allowed to look him in the eyes. If you saw him coming around the corner, you had to put your head down and you couldn't look at him. And people go, "Oh, that's egotistical." No, 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 no. You're Prince, arguably the best musician to ever walk the face of the earth. You think you wouldn't get tired of people looking at you 24/7? You know what I'm saying? I don't even like people looking at me in public. Like everybody is upset about the self-checkout machines anymore. I love self-checkout machines. You mean tell me I can go into Walmart, I can buy something and I can leave without having to interact with a single human being? Awesome. Now imagine you're Prince and you're trying to go to Walmart. Game over. You can't even do it. You have people looking at you 24/7. That kind of pressure is a lot. And I think people get caught up in looking at famous people. Oh, they have all the money in the world. Well, a lot of them die at an early age, and because the money in the world don't make them happy. It's all about the creativity. And going back to you a little bit, I respect, from what I saw of you anyway, I respect all the different ventures that you do, because I think people who are brave enough to get their creativity out there to the world are some of the ones that should get the most respect. And it seems like you got a good head on your shoulders. It seems like, you've got good motivation. Let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff that you'd like to accomplish. You said it took you 10 years to do this album. Let's talk about the next 10 years. What are some of the things that you would really like to accomplish? I know you said acting would be one of them. Let's talk about all that stuff. What are some of your immediate goals to start that path to get to that point in the next 10?
Immediate goals: cut out my bad habits before I give myself to the world, or at least calm down. Um, get into personal fitness a little more, treat my body a little better, get my mental state right. Network with others. You want to make sure that you're networking with the right people. Um, make sure my team is tight, family is okay. Just like small steps to get in place for the next, hopefully, 9 albums. You said 10 years, so we're gonna say 9 albums. The first five I would take right now, though, up till 2020, 2030. But but yeah, it's just small steps in order to get to the next, because you never know what the day holds. So I just gotta put in a little piece of work. You try to write every day, uh, at least write a verse or two. Try to make a video, build content up for fans and newcomers. Can also learn how to play new instruments or reach out to new genres. Just keep it going so you won't be stuck in one field basically, and then you'll have something to fall back on in each field, or you're connected with each field.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any desire to start a band of your own? Because again, that was some of your influences. And if you want showmanship, that's the number one way to go. So do you have any desire to do that?
Yes, hopefully within the next 5 months I can find the right artist when I put them together. Or I know some good musicians out here, and if they're down for it, I would love to be the front man, get some rock and roll going, and have rock and roll versions to my music as well.
Yeah.
That's it.
Would you go more of the 80s Motley Crue style, or do you think you would kind of mix it up to make it your own a little bit?
It'll be my own, but with the voice I have is more 80s grungy, 90s vibe too. So I think I'll be able to pull something nice off.
Nice. Heck yeah. Well, my man, I appreciate you sitting down and taking the time to talk with me. Like I said, I added a couple of your tracks to my daily Spotify list. The album is excellent. I was very impressed when I heard it. Pleasantly surprised that it was as good because I got to cipher through a lot of crap. So when I find a gem in that rough, man, it's a welcome pleasure. So you got me on your new follower list for sure, and really looking forward to seeing some of the stuff that you come out with. So I always give the last couple of minutes to my guest. If there's anything you want to plug, social media links, where they can find your work, streaming platforms, all that stuff, my brother. Floor is yours, my man.
Yes, sir. Jeremiah Chow, Cleveland artist, all around the world artist. You could look me up on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Limit 8 is getting started. Basically those platforms for now. My album is check out my album Safe Word. I will be shooting a music video beginning this week. I'll have new photos and footage for you, behind the scenes stuff to look at in the meantime. And I appreciate the ride. I really do. I hope you enjoy it.
Awesome. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, thanks again for joining me today, my man. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Rose Show, we right here, baby.